How you guys doing? This is Neil, the art instructor at masterpaintnow.com and Udemy, and also best-selling author of How to Draw Awesome Figures on Amazon. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys a really cool trip, a quick tip on how to foreshorten stuff like arms, things like that. What if we want to make her arm coming out at us? How would we go about doing that? Well, here's a really cool tip. I think you'll find it very easy to use. And my friend requested this, and something was a little misunderstood. But basically, you want to imagine that there is a box, or in this case, a rectangle around the arm. Now imagine the arm just going straight down to the wrist, about like this right here. That's about how thick her arm is going to be. Now normally, if you would draw a X through it, point to point, that would give you the middle portion of the arm. And so let's go ahead and do that really quick. I'm going to make a new layer. Now, it's a little bit hard to do this with pencil. You can probably have to use a ruler to get it perfect, but on Manga Studio or Photoshop's on that, very easy. We're going to go to Outline Selection. I'm going to go with actually 1 instead of 2 pixels. Click OK. We got a nice little box here. And then you take the pencil. We can go on 2 or 1 as well. And then we're going to use the Select key, hold down, or excuse me, Shift, and go from corner to corner. Now how you do that, actually maybe I will make this a 2. How you do that is you simply left click once, hold down Shift key, drag, and left click again. That's how you do it in Manga Studio. Let's go ahead and make another X going across, or another line for the X. You can see that the middle point being right here, it's like so. Then you could take this, go to Edit, Transform, and Free Transform, and then simply just drag this out where you want her arm to be. So let's say we want her arm to be up like this. I imagine like where I want my hand to be, and then I draw the rest of the arm to connect to the hand. That's how I typically draw arms, is I put my hands where I want them, just kind of sketch them in, and then I draw the arm connect to the hand. I find that easier for me. Let's say I want her arm up and out, almost like parallel. Her hands be like almost parallel with her shoulder. Now, this will be kind of hard to see with the way I have this, but I'm gonna go ahead and turn this around like this. Since we're turning her arm sideways a little bit, I'm going to turn the box sideways, and something like so. And again, we're gonna keep the back's the same size, but the front is going to get a little bigger because it's coming out toward us. And you can force that perspective as much as you want. It's close as you want to bring it to the camera. I'm not going to bring it too much close to the camera, so we're not going to have too much foreshortening. The more, if you go like that, it's going away from us. Bring it like this, it's coming toward us. The more you make this bigger, the more that foreshortening is going to happen, and the more odd it's going to look. Even with like a weird camera lens, or you get too close to the camera, it might look a bit odd. Now once you have that there, you're ready to go. Now you could also just kind of draw the rectangle where you want it. Just make sure you have this part smaller and this part a little bit bigger, and then draw an X through it, and then you get your middle point that way. And once you have your middle point, then you know where to draw the arm at. So now it's just a matter of I can turn this layer down, and it's like a guide point just to kind of sketch the arm. I'll make a new layer again for her arm. Let's go ahead and zoom in so you can kind of see what I'm drawing here. Now, knowing that this is the center part of the arm, that's where I start drawing the forearm. So I have my forearm here. I just keep in mind how the arm is going to look from this point of view. Let's have her wrist kind of coming like this, and her hand's going to be coming sort of like that, and then her thumb coming down like so. And then this part of her hand, I'm not going to draw all the fingers just to save time. Just going to kind of draw my general hand like this. Right now it gives me a basic shape of the hand placement. Right, and so the hand is bigger than the other hand because it's coming out toward us, but I didn't force perspective too much. I know the wrist is all right in here, so I have to connect the forearm to that. I'm going to kind of and again, I'm just loosely following this guideline that I have created here for the forearm. Like that fits into this first square. Now the second part of the arm has to contain both her deltoid, that is her shoulder, and her bicep. And remember, it takes about half the spot. So keep in mind that if you have your arm coming down like this, the deltoid takes up half of the upper arm length. I know it seems awkward, but it's true. You can check several different photos of people and see if it does hold true. So I'm going to have her arm coming like this. That's going to be her bicep. This is her deltoid. Since she's kind of lifting her arm up now, I'm going to kind of show that deltoid come like this. It's kind of stretching her breast. Her breast would actually change position a little bit. I'm not going to draw all that though. I'm just going to kind of draw where the skin kind of starts to stretch up to meet the deltoid there. And then you would see a little bit maybe of the trapezius muscle, well not trapezius, the latissimus dorsi, which is also just known as your lat muscle. Comes like that, and you might have a little bit of that muscle visible there. The coracobrachialis, whatever that muscle underneath is that you can see there sometimes. And in this particular lighting setup, a lot of this right here would be in shadow because our arm's now up. And so I'm just going to kind of quickly draw in shadow here. Like so. A lot of this part of the hand here would be in shadow. This would all be quite dark shadow actually. I can come with in cross hatch here. And there we go. Right, so now we can see that we have drawn our arm coming like up and toward us, but it still might be maybe a little bit too long. Like, would that be, and when I do foreshortening, I like to, like if you make the arm kind of come out and big, and now this is a little bit too toward us, so we can change this after you have drawn it. And again, this is like a sketching phase still, so it's easy to take all this and change it. Let's go to Edit, Transform, and Free Transform. Now we can pull this arm. We can kind of foreshorten it some more like this, and it's going to keep that kind of idea that we had. We're going to come out, make this a little bit bigger as it comes out toward us. But we're going to make the whole thing a little bit shorter. It would stay a lot shorter, closer, like that. And that's just a matter of how I place that square in the beginning. But if you realize that, hey, it doesn't quite look right, then you can go ahead and make adjustments. And then you go ahead and start doing your drawing over this sketch. So you can see that everything is smaller in the background and gets bigger as it comes to the foreground. And you can take pictures of yourself or a friend or something like this and see that this does hold true even on a camera. What happens is that in a photograph there's a lot more shadow and stuff like that, and our brain knows how long the arm is and it plays tricks with us. It makes it want to believe the arm is the same length as we know it to be. And so sometimes when we look at a foreshortened figure, in a photograph, we kind of don't really see how much the figure's foreshortened. And then when we go to draw it, our mind's playing a trick on us and we don't actually foreshorten it. But if you trace over the photo and you're like, oh wow, try doing some really foreshorten like this with the arm coming really toward the camera a lot, and then take a picture of it and then trace over it and look at your tracing. It looks way different than the photograph because it doesn't have all that shadow and stuff like that, and so it's harder for your mind to play that trick on you, and you're like, whoa, that arm looks very, very short. And if you look at the photo again after a while, after doing the tracing, it'll start to become more apparent to you how odd the photograph looks. But yeah, so that's pretty much how you handle it. Now with comics and stuff, you can do some cheats. You can like purposely kind of make that middle point come out a little bit further, or kind of just change the way you handle the foreshortening a little bit. You can kind of break rules of reality in comic books to make it more aesthetically pleasing. It just means more pleasing to the eye. All right, so that's pretty much it. This again, just a quick tip here on how to foreshorten different things. You can do that for anything, for the leg, whatever. If you want her leg to come out at us and all that. The only thing you have to think about when you're drawing from imagination, and sometimes you might want to go ahead and maybe look at a reference or something really quickly, or use like DAZ Studio to kind of just do a similar pose and go, okay, I kind of had the idea right in my head. If you feel like it doesn't look right or you're having trouble with it, or take a quick picture of yourself in a mirror or a friend, or set your camera up and put it on time. To timed photo for like 10 seconds, give enough time to go 10 to 20 seconds, give enough time to get in a position. All right, so also just a quick mention, if you guys haven't checked out my book yet, How to Draw Awesome Figures on Amazon, please check it out. I really appreciate it. It helps support the channel. And also check out my courses on Udemy just by going to masteredit.net. Excuse me, not .net. That's my writing site. If you want to learn how to write for free, I have a lot of free tutorials on there, video tutorials on how to write. I also write, and actually me and my girlfriend worked on a novel together. She helped me out with a lot of the girly aspects of it. Anyway, so it's going to be published by a company called, a new company come up called bigideaspublishing.net. Anyway, stay tuned for that. And also, if you guys haven't checked out yet, check out my girlfriend's channel. I'm on it as well. I'm the cameraman, and sometimes I'm even in videos, and it's called Samantha Stone Strangeness. I link to it here on my channel. So if you go to the homepage of my channel here on Learn to Draw, and you see the little my other channels there. It'll list my other channels. I have a link there. I also have a meditation asper channel I'm working on. I just want to get more content on it before I start linking to it. But yeah, so that there's a couple of things I want to mention about it. Was my actual website. It was masterpaintingnow.com is where you can find my other drawing courses, and also tons of free videos. Some of them are kind of linked there by concept, whatever. Figures and things like that. I need to link more to the actual site, but you can also go here to my channel and go to my playlist, and I have a lot of stuff put into different playlists. And then if you can't, like, if you're looking for something particular like how to draw a pencil, you'd be surprised how many videos. I have like over 600 free videos here on this channel. So just go to my channel, go to the search feature. If you don't know how to do it, let me show you really quick. Right, now this is a really cool feature. I'm not sure how many people know how to use it, but if you go to any channel's homepage, like I said, my channel's over here that you can go to. This is my girlfriend and I's channel. This channel, we haven't really been keeping up on this channel hardly at all. I'm not really sure what to do with it. It's just really hard to keep up with it. We have too much stuff we're doing. I'm not sure if I'll even leave that there maybe. But it'll be replaced. I have a lot of drawing stuff on how to draw for video games, how to make video games, animations, and stuff like that, and how to actually design games on this channel, which is really cool. But anyway, I might go and just replace that instead of even having it. I might leave it there. Either way, soon you'll see the Asper meditation channel here. Anyway, so go to any channel homepage. You click on this right here. Search the channel, and let's say you want to search for something like how to draw a pencil, right? So just put how draw pencil, just basic things. Hit enter, and it's going to search my channel. Okay, well, it should search my channel, but for some reason it's not. It's not searching my channel. There it goes. That time it worked. And you can see I have different, it'll go different my videos that are about drawing with pencil. And that's how you can search them. And you get more specific and find specific things you're looking for. Type in Photoshop tips, Photoshop tutorial, things like that. Come up with different things. You can see here, that's just one search term I put in. And as you go down, I think it starts getting less and less relevant to what it is you typed in. But there's quite a few different things in here. Right, so that's how you search. All right, so once you know how to search, a channel really helps you find different subjects you're looking for. Like I said, I have a lot of videos on here. So pretty much type in any subject you want on my channel, and you're probably going to find something relevant to it. All right, yeah, cool. So start using that feature on other channels too. It's really helpful. I use it all the time on people's channels. So, all right, cool. I guess that's pretty much all I wanted to mention. Also, I'm still debating on what. The book I'm definitely working on right now is how to draw faces, and I think this book, instead of, I don't know, let me know what you guys think. Maybe I should make a different video for that. I'll ask it here too. I'll probably make a separate video just asking really fast. So for the book, should I draw it with pencil on paper and then scan the images and stuff? That way it's, I guess, more authentic. Because I got some negative reviews on my Amazon book, and they're like, oh, it's fake, it was drawn on a computer. Like, they obviously don't understand that the skill it takes to draw on a Cintiq is the same kind of skill it takes to draw with pencil and paper. In fact, I think it's harder than it is drawing with pencil and paper. I think digital painting is harder than drawing than painting with regular just paints on canvas or poster board or something like that. It's a new medium, but it's really no different than if you were to go to pencil to color, watercolor, or let's say you know how to do acrylic painting and then you want to learn watercolor. It's a whole new medium. It works differently, so you have to learn new techniques and things like that. So yeah, anyway, the gap between like oils and acrylics isn't very big, but watercolor is a pretty different medium than oil and acrylic, and it does take time to learn and master that. And same thing with digital painting. It's a entirely different medium, and digital drawing is a entirely different way to draw. And so anyway, I don't know so what do you guys think? Should I draw it with pencil or with like Manga Studio, the book that is? I think the Manga Studio makes it where I can draw it faster, and because I don't have to like sit there and scan the images and things like that, and I can erase easier, and it's easier to get a final image drawn, where paper might take a little bit longer. So Manga Studio would save me a lot of time, and I think it also looks more crisp in the end. But I don't know, that kind of pencil look looks really cool too. But also with the drawing faces, I want to show also how to draw full colored faces as well in that book. So that part would have to be done. Well, it doesn't have to be done, but I'd rather do it with Manga Studio than traditionally. I've just preferred prefer it. And anyway, another course I'm thinking about doing, just two courses I'm debating on doing right now. I'm going to do them both eventually, but the two I'm debating on what one to do next is either the backgrounds course, which a lot of people have requested, how to draw and paint backgrounds, which will go into both backgrounds for anything, for whether it's concept art or comic books. I'm really going to heavily go into the comic book aspect of it as well, but the principles apply to any type of thing you're doing, any type of drawing you're doing that has a background, and it'll have composition and things like that. Or to do another one that's been highly requested, which is how to draw with pencil. And so this one would be all done with pencil, paper, and eraser. But it wouldn't just be like strictly how to draw with pencil. I would also go into how to draw like faces with pencil and figures with pencil. Like it would just be like very, very basic stuff. Like how to draw very basic stuff with pencil, but getting into like form and stuff like that. So, but it'd be like a beginner's course of drawing, but with pencil and paper. So it'd go to a lot of the lighting and dynamics and form or perspective, maybe a little bit. I don't know about perspective too much. I won't go too deep into that. That really couldn't be its own separate book. But anyway, I've gone on long enough. I've been blabbling here. My video was done a long time ago, wasn't it? Now here I am still talking in a weird accent. I don't know what it is. All right, see you guys later. Peace out. Yeah, if you have any requests, go ahead and leave them. I appreciate it.